Hello, everyone. Just trying to get everything set up here. Um, yeah, it's pajama day. It's pajama day in the studio. I'm just gonna quickly post in some self promotions. But hello, everyone. All right, beautiful. How's everyone doing today? Happy St. Patrick's Day. It is that time of year, that time of the month. And you can see it is a sunny day in in Los Angeles. Hello, Zanite. Um, Eventually, I'll bring you back down so you can actually see what I'm working on today. But yes, I figured we could just say hello for a little bit. And yes, Lifeblood. I have my French press and my cat dad mug. This thing can almost hold the entire um, French press. It's wild. Buddy, hi. And I have a Rowan here who's pacing. Come here. Come say hello to everyone. Come on. He's just gonna circle me for a couple of minutes. Come on. There you are. Good boy. Say hello to everyone. Oh. So how is everyone? How are y'all doing? I know it's been a couple of weeks since my last stream, so you know, I hope you're doing well. I'm doing rather well. I'm finally resting and recuperating. It's been a busy last few weeks, especially because at work we just launched a new product line called Patrons and Deities over at Cantrip Candles, and the last few weeks have been just like all the pouring of candles, getting everything prepped, getting everything ready. So it's like we were on like um, high energy, high workload the last few weeks. So now that everything is launched and we're just kind of in the like post-launch bliss, I had today off, so I was able to just kind of chill. I didn't get out of bed until super late today, but I also did not go to bed until super like late this morning. So I may have gone to bed when the sun was coming up. It happens. It happens sometimes when you're just a little bit of an insomniac. So yeah, and thank you, Bug. Yeah, I'm really pleased with how the smells, the new smells came out, and the art is gorgeous. Um, so yeah, the whole project just came together beautifully. The whole team crushed it, absolutely crushed it. Mm. So what are we working on today? Um, I have plans to work on hand sewing the other sleeve for the jacket. So this is one sleeve right here. Um, I finished smocking the other fabric. What day was that? Was that on Friday? I think is when I finished. It was either Thursday night or Friday. Thursday night or Friday. Um, I finished smocking the shoulder piece. So that's done. And all I need to do is hand sew the other parts of the sleeves so I can get them all sewn together. So. My bag of yarn shame, thread shame over here. I've already done one of the pieces and started the second one. Got to be really careful because I just have needles hanging out in this bag. Here we are. This is an old bag I got. God, how many years ago now was that? Probably 7, 8 years ago from the fiber company. And I absolutely love it. It's a little project bag. It's canvas. Um, but yeah, so let me show you quickly what I've been working on. So here's one of the sleeve panels that has been sewn together. It just needs the top stitching, which I will do by machine, but I need to close the hole. So that will be done after I get the rest of them sewn up. And here, whoa, pinned this on. Here's the scale fabric, all smocked. Look at that variegation. Woo! From far away, it's so beautiful. I mean, it's beautiful up close, but from far away, it's just stunning. Catches the light beautifully. So I have plenty of this fabric for the other shoulder. You can kind of see from back here. And so that's what we're going to work on. But I also worked on this week a crown for this. I still have a lot more work to do. But it's a viper and some ivy. And this is all metal work. I am self-taught on doing metal work, that and YouTube. Um, let's see. I'm gonna have to figure this out once I finish it, but I'm trying to do this with a ponytail on. So it'll be sit something a little bit like this, but better because it won't be getting caught on the hair in the back. So yeah, I still have some things that I need to add to it. I'm gonna cover up all of where the ivy leaves hook up to the metal braid, just to make sure that I cover my solder joints because they're not beautiful. They are definitely not beautiful. Um, but also, I want to add some like tiny little tendrils to this. So the bulk of it is done. Yeah, the bulk of it is done. And then I'm going to polish it up a little bit and see where it leads. We'll see. We'll see. I might weave in some real greenery. I just might. For at least like the photo shoot, I think that would be a good idea. So I'm gonna bring you down. Ugh. We're just gonna work today. You won't necessarily be able to see my face. But I figure we could chat and sew together. I could show you what else I've been working on for this project. But definitely lifeblood first. Also, I did inherit 2 new potted plants today, or yesterday, technically. So I'm really, really excited. Your outlook on life has shifted for sure. For sure, it's shifted. Also, can you see my oft neglected dumbbells behind me? But yes, so I got 2 new potted plants that I'm going to rehabilitate here in my studio. I've got this rabbit leg fern that has seen better days. So I'm gonna try to rehab that. I might need to repot it, but we'll see. And there's some clover in there as well. And I don't remember the name of this plant, but it looks like a money plant, kind of. So this one is also getting some TLC. See if I can't rehab it. Um, the shop is ow! The shop is where I got them from. And we have a few plants that are quite good at surviving in where we have the light and moisture levels. Those 2, not so much. Not so much. Okay, so yeah, those are kind of like the updates, in the studio. This is for the shoulder piece. This is the shoulder liner. This is the liner, and I love it. Love this fabric. Okay, we'll talk about that in a little bit. So I'm working on this piece right here, and I am indeed hand sewing this. At first, I was um, going to machine sew, and I machine sew a lot of the pieces, but I find that with this fabric combo, the liner and the woven fabric, it just likes to slip slide on itself. And in the sewing machine, I cannot control that as much as I would like to. So, yeah. So we're hand sewing. And I honestly love hand sewing. I do think I need to change out my needle. I love hand sewing. It does take a lot longer, but it's worth it. It's absolutely worth it to me. Let's see, where are my needles? Here we are. These are some nice chunky boys. That might help. Nice and sturdy. I keep bending my needles. You won't be able to see this, I don't think, but right there. You can kind of see it. I keep bending them because my grip strength is too high, apparently. But I can't help it. Okay, let's. I don't need a huge, large eye. I'm also excited. I was able to get some fabric for a shirt for the Vipers and the Ivy. I had a gift card that I haven't used yet. And I found some kind of black satin on sale. I got 4 yards of that where I'm gonna make a shirt, and I might make some pants out of it. I don't know, like some loose pants. Yeah, but how are y'all? Tell tell me how y'all are doing. I hope you're enjoying your St. Patrick's Day if you celebrate. I'm not doing anything super cuckoo bananas, this year. I just felt like I'd rather be home. Alright, so all I'm doing is sewing a back stitch. Busy catching up on work with the short. Oh, how was that time with your friends? Nice. Oh man, maybe I should have had some Guinness. Oh well. No, I've just been a coffee boy. So, oh my gosh, 16 years. That is a long time. But also, as we get older, it always is a little bit harder to make those schedules line up, especially with careers and families, jobs. Well, that's the same as a career, I suppose. Short but super packed. Well, I'm glad that you had that opportunity. Yeah, yeah. Being far apart certainly does not help. There's some people that I haven't seen since high school that I would actually love to see. Um, but they're like probably closer, but like clear on the other side of the country. And we're all just busy. So yeah, I'm just going through and doing a simple back stitch along my mark for seam allowance where the seam is. And I'm just going a few stitches at a time. Oh, fun. It sounds like an absolute blast. So much walking. I bet. I know whenever I travel, I am definitely a person who likes to walk around, but oh no. Well, I hope you can rest now. Okay. So I'm at the corner here. So what I like to do is just kind of finish off that line and then go back a stitch or so and start the next line. I don't think you showed me a bunch of pics. You're welcome to put them in the Discord. I'll take a look at them after stream, but yeah, I don't know if you posted any pics in any of the Discords. Maybe? Did you? It's hard to keep up sometimes. Yeah, this needle is working far better than the other one. Oops. Should have straightened out my thread a little bit more. But I didn't. Okay, so I'm at that corner again, or the other corner, finishing off that horizontal row of stitching, starting this row just a few threads behind. And I'm going to continue on till I reach about like here, and then we'll flip it inside out. I did the two side pieces first because the other one has that big point down the center of it. And that is sometimes cumbersome. It's amazing what using like the right equipment or right tool will do for a project. Because I was on the struggle bus the last couple of days with that other needle, trying to just let it live out its last few legs of life. But working with this needle, it's making my life so much easier. Okay, just ending my thread there, burying my thread in the basting stitches. Beautiful. So I'm just using some black thread. You can't see this when it's flipped right side out and it's along the seams, so I'm not that worried about it. Ooh, awesome. Thank you. Thank you, Bug. Also, if you hear in the background the sound of running water, I am currently AFKing in my Minecraft world. So, you know, as one does. And you are welcome, Bug, of course. Ooh, how do I safely dispose of wonky needles? Well, if you're like me normally, um, I tend to be a silly goose, and I just leave them in my pincushion. And then I'm like, "Oh crap, that's the broken needle, right, I shouldn't use that one." Um, but other ways that I do it, I do have, like, a jar that I keep sharps in. I haven't gotten rid of them yet, but I do have a jar that I keep sharps in, And I also have been known to essentially shove a broken needle into a piece of cardboard, tape it up, and then toss it, but I don't generally like to do that. So generally I just have a sharps jar. And that goes for old razor blades or needles, sewing needles, that sort of thing. But yeah, most of the time I just leave it in my pincushion and wonder why the heck all of my needles are broken. Because sometimes I'm a dunce. No, I think that's actually a great question, Xanite. Like, there are certain things that people don't always think about when you're crafting or when you do a lot of work, but there is that kind of waste, needle waste and stuff, and you can't just throw those out because it's dangerous. So you have to take precautions, so you can protect yourself and the garbage workers. Sorry for the hiccups, everyone. So as I'm doing this, I'm not pulling tight, but I am pulling um, flush, I guess. Like I'm trying to get the two layers to stay sandwiched together um, securely. So I'm not pulling the stitches tight, but I'm making sure that they're snug. How about that? That's the right word. Because I don't want any bunching on the fabric. Do you think I might need to use shorter lengths of thread with this thread? Because it keeps wanting to knot up on itself. Yeah, definitely don't want to get other people hurt. Yeah, I have that tendency too. Yeah, that's actually usually why I recommend people to have like a sampler or a stitch something to get your hands warmed up and your body warmed up before you work on your actual project. Because your tension, so like this is normally when I talk about crochet or knitting, but your tension is directly related to the tension in your body. So if you're tight or you're too loose because you're really relaxed or you're really anxious, that'll come out in your work. So having some practice stuff to work on allows you to get those kind of pre crafting, not jitters, but pre crafting glitches out. It's really helpful. These clips are so freaking handy. I got them for Christmas, I think. Was it Christmas or my birthday last year? I don't remember, but they're so nice because I don't have to put pinholes in my fabric, and the liner fabric is pretty susceptible to getting snagged on pins. So it's been really nice to not have that issue. But for thicker stuff, it's gonna work. I have some thoughts and plans to make like some corsetry type stuff, and being able to use the clips where you might not be able to pin stuff through the material is very helpful. Mhm. My hips. So funny because yes, hand sewing takes a decent chunk of time, but honestly, it's not terrible. And it's just kind of like a nice little meditative moment. You know, I have the pleasure of working with this fabric for longer. Yeah, that's kind of what I think I'm picking up on right now too, Xanite. Like, I'm always surprised at how quickly it goes, especially when I'm like chatting with y'all. Doing domestic work like this is, I feel like it goes by much faster when you're in the company of good people. And I'm not really concerned that the stitch length is exactly the same on each stitch. You're not going to see any of this. As long as this is keeping this like sandwich of fabric together and securely, I don't really care if it's not, you know, stitch accurate. Done is better than perfect, in my opinion. Yeah, it's rustic, means it was handmade. And the thing is, like, handmade, a lot of people attribute that to being, like, not well done, but handmade is sometimes better quality, frequently better quality than, something that you would get commercially, but handmade, um, is gonna be more imperfect, I think. Okay, so we're gonna do half a length this time. Exactly. A lot of people think that handmade is, like, crafty, and there's a negative connotation surrounding that. Yeah, so if your thread is being unruly, don't suffer, just do a shorter length of thread. Does that mean that you're going to be changing threads more often? Yes. But are you going to be fighting with your thread as often? No. Yeah, so we're what? Just about halfway around. Just a little under halfway around, I suppose, since this is flared out on this side. Yeah. Well, and so that's the thing. I think in the US, people attribute handmade frequently to like quote the lower arts or the craftiness, and they don't always understand. Yeah, the handmade Italian shoes, that's not going to happen. Oh, a cloud just went overhead, and I don't have any of my lights on in the studio. Just going with the windows today. I will say, even though I've been loving this project, like hands down, this has been one of my favorite projects I've ever devised of and worked on. I am really excited and have a lot of creative energy for other future projects. Oopsies. It's not going through both layers. Luckily, that's not much. It's fine. Yeah, lights who dis. But yeah, I'm really excited to work on some new projects. So I think I might. I'm going to be doing a lot more like fantasy related fashion, like stuff that I can wear somewhat regularly. Like this is a suit, so I'm not going to be wearing this like to work. But I do want to create more clothing that is fantasy related, but works with a modern aesthetic and modern lifestyle. But I feel like life is too short to not enjoy what you're wearing or what you look like or how you want to be perceived by the world. Like just have fun. I do have some of those old D&D but make it fashion that I might pull from the archive, some of those fashion sketches that I did early on in the pandemic. I might take some of those and make real versions of them. So let me know if that's something that sounds interesting. Because I can then also show people like how I go from sketch and concepts to actual product. Also, we are so close to 7,900 subscribers on this channel, way faster than I was expecting. So 8,000 is only 112 subscribers away, I think. So I think I should hit that in about 3 months, based on my current projected analytics. So holy moly. So yeah, if there's people that you think might like my content, please share it around. Um, That would be really awesome. I'm trying to get monetized again here on the YouTube, and slowly but surely we're getting there. So I'm still like lots of watch hours away um, from that point, but like I'm not going to try and chase it because that's when burnout occurs, and I cannot afford to be burnt out. So I'm just working on my own timeline and my own schedule. I'm not going to try and chase the algorithm because that is a Sisyphean task and a tantalizing task. You get so close, almost close enough to drink, and it recedes. So funny. Those Greek myths have stuck with me for my entire life. Like I remember first learning about Tantalus and Sisyphus, and I was just like, "Oh my god, that's kind of badass, but also terrifying." I used to get Sisyphus and Tantalus mixed up because in my mind I was like, "Well, Sisyphus is trying to sip the water, and that's not how it's working." That's not how it was. That wasn't the story. Yeah, I love myths and legends. Ugh. I mean, obviously, I now tell stories for a living and make fantasy and mythological candles now. So clearly. Oh, yeah. There's generally a myth and a legend for everything across every culture. I've been watching a lot of Vikings, the show that used to air a while ago, and we're currently in the position where like the world has opened up for the first time for the Nordic folk. Um, and seeing the differences cross culturally of how they approach ritual and religion is really interesting. That's always been something that I've been fascinated about um, since I was a kid. Always trying to learn more about other cultures and other religions. Would you, I'm assuming, make candles inspired by gods from other pantheons? We're just working on our own pantheon. Because A, we don't want to be culturally appropriative or insensitive, and B, we're kind of building our own cantrip candles lore. So, yeah, we definitely take inspiration from other pantheons for sure. Like that's just gonna be the case. But um, no, we're creating our own lore, our own stories. All of the lore stuff has basically been Kristoff, and I just really love what he's been writing for the different characters. Yeah, some meditative sewing. If you're just here to chill out and take a moment to decompress, welcome. That's really what I'm here for. And shooting the shit. And to make pretty things. I think the world needs more pretty things right now. We're in a globe of chaos currently, and there's not much I can do. Personally, there's not much I can do, but I can put a little bit of beauty in the world. I can make space for other people to have a quiet moment. I can offer myself up for that. You're welcome. There's no thanks necessary, but I will take it. I genuinely enjoy doing it. As long as I have a full cup, then I'm happy to do it. But I've learned that when I don't have a full cup, that it's okay to not perform, not put on an act of having anything together, right? Gotta put your oxygen mask on first before you can help another person. That's not what I mean. But honestly, like, I totally would put on another carafe of lifeblood. Maybe I will in a little bit. Or maybe some tea, some decaf tea. As much as I love lifeblood, the caffeine, if I have way too much of it, I do start to get a little jittery. Yeah, it's early for you, right? Early Monday morning. 6:47. Okay, not too bad. Honestly, that's early for me. Like, I don't usually work these days until 11. So, like, my whole day is shifted a little bit, but I'm glad that she yelled at you to go to sleep. It's like, we love having you all around, but not for the sake of your own, you know, health. Oh, please do. That would be cool. Yeah, it definitely seems like the Pantheon stuff is kind of in the zeitgeist right now. Don't know don't know why, don't know how, but maybe we're all looking for a little extra meaning these days. Ooh, maybe I'll go take a quick look and you can just hear my reactions. Let me finish this thread. Oh man, so I'm thinking about this shirt for the Vipers and the Ivy, and I had some original thoughts, but now they're kind of changing again. So what I really need to do is just do a sketch, but ugh, I keep biting off more and more for this project. And it's been good, but like I'm about to make a throne using some found objects because of this project. I'm also going to use it for future projects, but oh my god, hiccups. Okay, cool, 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 cool. Look, we're almost done, and then we can do the third piece. So, do I want to sew that all together first, and then sew the lining to the shoulder piece? Yes, because that part is actually kind of difficult. Um, because you're dealing with like thick layers of fabric. Okay, yeah. So we'll do. Yeah, 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 yeah. You heard me. My very coherent thoughts. Okay, let's take a look at this. Ooh, that's so cool. Yeah, that's very timely. Very, very timely. Oh my god, these are great photos, Bug. These are great photos. How fun. Oh my gosh. That food looks delicious. Oh, yummy. Okay, I'm coming back. Coming back. Here's the I love the Swedish Chef. It is funny because I'm not Swedish, but I am Danish. I learned in Norwegian, but yeah, I'm very Nordic. I have learned, but I feel like I get a free pass of doing Swedish Chef because I am Scandinavian. It's all the same at this point. The Vikings were just wandering all over that place and changing the demographics. Like I can definitely see the Danish heritage in my height and my hair, but it's all from that region. That is something that I am interested in too, is looking at historic Scandinavian dress and traditional Scandinavian dress and modernizing it for my wardrobe. So, yeah, I definitely skew way more Danish than Swedish. Like Danish and Norwegian for sure. But like I look at Danish actors and I'm like, "Oh, we could be related." It's funny because my cousins um, got a double dose of Scandinavian from both sides of their family. Technically, I did too, but theirs is far more closely linked. Um, and I believe they are Swedish, and they've got that like blonde hair, the blue eyes, that very like pale Scandinavian vibe, but also tall. My cousin Laura, she is as tall as me, if not like an inch taller, and I'm 6 foot 2 on a normal day. A Schmjolnir pincushion? Oh my god. That would be adorable. Maybe I should make a little Fenrir. Oh, the sun's behind the clouds again. Why you gotta be like this? A little needle dispenser. That would be hilarious. I think I can make it to the end of this straight away. And then I'll add a new thread. I mean, I'm practically trying to uh, grow my own Yggdrasil here. So with all my plants, all my house plants. I love that I've just become like Benjamin's home for wayward potted plants because I have one that I've had to like repot 2 or 3 times because it grows, right? That came from an old neighbor before I moved out here to LA. Um, then I have a monstera that I took from a cutting of one from the shop. And now I have those 2 new ones from the shop. And I'm also trying to propagate some English ivy. And I think it's working. I should play them some music. I should. I should play them some music. Okay, so just about 4 more inches before what I'll do is flip this inside out. I need to clip the corners and stuff, but we're getting there. Yep, they're watering their plants upstairs. You can hear that drip, drip, drip sound. Just outside my door. Oh, flip. Okay. Don't be such a drip. That feels like such a 70s thing to say, or an 80s thing. Don't be such a drip. Todd. We're just feeling groovy. Sorry to all the Todds out there. It wasn't your fault. It was just the name that came to mind first. It, yeah, I guess that makes sense. Makes sense. I think I already mentioned this, but I will be top stitching this by machine. Um, Primarily because I have a seam guide on my machine that allows me to get a perfect line all the way around. There's no reason that I need to do top stitching by hand for this project. I'm not trying to be historically accurate. I know I've mentioned that before. Am I taking some historical inspiration? Sure. But is this a traditional Victorian overcoat? Definitely not. We're just having some fun fantasy times. So the main body, I actually do hand sew the seams onto the main body because I'm doing a special decorative stitch to sew them together. So I'm flat laying all of the pieces together. Flat seaming. And where that actually becomes really important is the shoulder of this piece. It's so thick, so freaking thick that I do not think I'd be able to safely get it through my machine. I'm fairly certain that would break a needle. Because you've essentially got, I think, 4 layers of the smocked fabric. So that means a total of 8 layers of fabric and 4 layers of interfacing. And then you add a liner to that. So you're looking at 13 layers of stuff. It's wild. I could be wearing a thimble for this. I do wear it for the thick stuff. I should technically be using a thimble probably, but I'm not really forcing this through too much where I am here. Okay, I think that's enough space. So I'm just going to end my thread here. And then I'm going to trim the corners. And I need to get a knitting needle so I can do the points. Trickle, 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 trickle. It sounds terribly indecent. All about water pouring down. Okay, so I'm just clipping the corners up at the top. I'm gonna clip them right here. I am cutting into the basting stitches at this point, but it does not matter because those basting stitches are doing nothing mechanically speaking currently. So I'm just trimming down, and then I'm gonna flip it inside out. And this is where the magic happens, and it's so pretty. The thimble of evil. Maybe. I'd read that novel, The Thimble of Evil. So I'm just gently, 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 gently sticking my needle, my knitting needle, into the corners to just pop out those corners nice and sharp. But I do not want to puncture my liner or my hand-woven fabric. So I'm being very gentle. Beautiful. Yay. So all I'm gonna do is reclip all of these to keep it flat, and then I'm going to press later. Nice. And then where's the hole? Right here? Yeah, so gosh. Um, Once I do a final pressing of this, I'll sew up the seams on each of them. Yes, it does. It does, because what's happening is where that fabric is folding, it's folding back over itself. So it creates like a little poof. So doing a press to press everything down and then top stitching keeps everything pretty flat. But all that fabric's trying to go somewhere, which is why we clip curves and why we clip corners. Because all that fabric has to go somewhere. So I am still obsessed with this fabric. Okay, outer sleeves. Boom. Center sleeve. Time to do more. Thank you, Zanite. I am obsessed. Truly and legitimately obsessed. Mm-mm-mm. So I'm just gonna set these up here. Yeah, I'm really, really excited to get to try this on for the first time. Um, because then I can start thinking about where I'm gonna place other elements of this project. Um, I'm gonna hello. That way I can kind of just chat with you a little bit better. Unless you really want to see what I'm working on. But I feel like at this point, we know what I'm working on. Okay. Where do I want to start on here? I think I might start down at the bottom here. Wait, what are we working on? Get out of here, wise guy. I will say working on the crown was a freaking blast because I got to use my blowtorch. And it was very fun. Spoken like a true pyro. Yeah, I'm lucky that I'm fairly good at threading a needle. Even though I go a little cross-eyed every single time I do it. Ooh, make creme brulee. I should. I don't have any of the ingredients for creme brulee, but that does sound delish. I have my eyesight has been slowly degrading for my entire life. I got my first pair of glasses in middle school, And from there, my eyesight has only gotten worse. And I am about probably 3 or 4 years behind getting a new prescription. So, it's fine. Who needs to see? Hmm? Who needs to see? Not me. Mm-mm. Seeing is for losers. Having one of your basic senses? Not me. Couldn't be me. I'm too cool. Too cool for the sense of sight. Is that plant still releasing water? Like, that plant is well watered. I can hear it. I know. It really is. It's saying, hey, look, your coffee's almost gone. Mm-mm-mm-mm. Realizing I should have gone around counterclockwise. It's just a little more awkward to hang on to the piece like this. So I might do that once I finish this thread, is start going around the other way. I know, more lifeblood, more tea. I have lots of tea. Um, Xanite, there was a reason that I did it, and it's called because I'm a dum dum sometimes. I'm a rebel. I like to switch up which stitching direction I'm doing for no reason because I like to make my life a little bit harder. Oh, were you getting too comfortable the other way? Oh, lots of different teas. Mostly bagged tea, not loose leaf tea, but most of them are decaf, so they're just like herbal teas. I will say I'm very grateful with how dark I made the pencil line for the seam here. Because dang, some of the other pieces were really light. Yeah, thank you, past me. Yeah, I did not like doing that clockwise one bit. Mm-mm. That felt awkward AF. But hey, I got another like 10 inches done. The timelines, what's going on? Thank you, past me, but not the other past me. Curse the other past me. Future Ben, remember when the timelines, they're converging. We must be careful. Let's do right here. So much better, so much nicer. I feel like I actually have a handle on the fabric. Yeah, it's my new variety show. What? Are you mad that I'm not paying attention to you, buddy? You've been elsewhere. You can't expect me to pay attention to you when I don't know where you are. You gonna come up here? It's okay. Good boy. Yes, my feline overlord. He is an attention hog. For sure. being such a good boy right now. You're just staring at the thread. You're not trying to catch it or eat it. What have I done to deserve such well-behaved kitten? What is it? What? I feel good, buddy. Talk about chill stream vibes. It doesn't get more chill than just like, I guess if I had music on, but like sewing with a cat on my lap. Whoa, what did I do? Got a little tangle. There we go. Okay, bye. Oh, are you trying to get into my shirt? I don't think you're gonna fit in this one, buddy. This shirt has no arms. You'll fall out. Oh my god. It's shirt time. The things I do for this cat. I just This is my life now. Hi, buddy. This is all because I used to swaddle him when he had his ringworm treatments. I used to have to give him sulfur baths to get rid of it. And so I'd wrap him up in a towel and just hold him to get him warm. And I think he got used to that. And then I used to put him in my robe, and he really loved that. So I do. I only have myself to blame. But he's much larger now than when he was a wee baby kitten. Yep. It's like, You know, when that dog is 90 pounds, you're gonna have to pick it up to go do this thing, right? Oh, wow, at least I'm consistent. I'm reaching about the same point on this other side as I did on the like on the first side. Look at me go. I'm consistent. Also, I've been toying with the idea of doing some Instagram live streams. I don't know, just trying to increase my audience everywhere, I suppose. So let me know if that's something that you'd also want to partake in. It would be just like this, basically. You just won't have a replay of it. And at some point, I'd like to do TikTok lives, but I don't think I have access to that yet. So, um, not the way I'm currently doing it, but I bet I could figure it out. Right now, you're just on my camera or on my phone through the YouTube app directly. But if I were to do like OBS or something, I could probably link up both. Yeah, the thing about Instagram is that it's a vertical format generally, and I still prefer doing YouTube horizontally. I did try the last live stream was vertical, even though I screwed up the settings so nobody saw that I was live. Mhm. That was a fun moment. But yeah, I don't know if people care whether it's vertical or horizontal, but oh my god, these hiccups. I prefer horizontal because you can see more of the space. Also, I love anybody who were to come in right now would be like, "What is wrong?" Yeah, so you would have had to have had the link, the direct link to the video after I was looking at the settings because it was, unlisted, I think. So only people with the link would have been able to see it, and I screwed it up. Yeah, I was like, "Wow, nobody's shown up to this at all." So this time, I was like, "I'm gonna schedule it and put it on public," and guess what? It worked. So funny, I've been doing this live stream stuff for 13 years now. I was doing it in the early days on Google Live, like Google Hangout. I did some Facebook Lives, did some YouTube Lives, and it seems like the longer I do it, the more I feel like an idiot trying to make sure that the tech works. And it's like, "Come on. You've been doing this for a long time." Yeah, past Ben is getting into a lot of trouble, a lot of heat. I am starting to think I might need to switch to using a thimble. Just because the repeated movement is causing some fingertip indents. What, buddy? Have you had enough shirt time? Okay, bye. Yeah, he's like, okay, I'll go get you a thimble, daddy. And I'm like, no, you won't. No, you won't. However, I think I'm gonna put you down. Here you can be clipped here. Ooh. And I'm gonna go start a new pot of hot water for some more coffee, some more lifeblood. Lifeblood. Wow. It's a chair stream. Hello, I'm back. Can you still hear me okay with the mic over here? Or over here, even? Because then I don't have to put it on my chest. And I won't bump it as often. It's a bit softer. How about now? If I just lean right into it. I can also do that a little bit. Rowan, you don't need to meow, buddy. It's like, you were just on my lap. He's like, pay attention to me. Yeah. The mic shouldn't pick up too much, but it's definitely more directional, I think, than anything else. I do have hot water going, and I just topped off my old coffee grounds with some new coffee grounds. There's still a little bit of juice left in the bottom of those old grounds. What about meow? How about meow? Can you hear me meow? What? Am I mocking you? Is it almost BSC time? Am I gonna finish the base of this jacket today? I still need to do the collar, but like the base of the jacket? Ooh, that'll be exciting. So once I sew these up, I need to sew them together. And then I need to cut out the pattern piece from the scale fabric, which is always a little scary. And then I need to prep and sew that piece to the liner and then sew that to the rest of the sleeve. Then I can sew that onto the body. Um, then after that, it's deciding what kind of front closure I want to do because I've been going back and forth on that for a while. And then once I have that figured out, then I can do the collar because that will change how I do the collar. So what is it? Miles to go before I sleep. Goodbye, knitting needle. I don't know. Right now I have two basically rectangular pieces cut out, and I was just thinking it's going to be kind of like a mandarin collar. But then I was thinking, wouldn't it be interesting to do kind of like a really pointy collar or a really shaped collar? And if that's the case, I'm gonna have to like piece together, like cobble together old cutoffs from the rest of the project, which I think I can do. But there's not a lot of that fabric left, and I'm trying to save some of it for pants, which I need to do a mock-up for. Yeah, I think Mandarin collar fits this theme. Like that's what I was planning on. But I think I might have to play around with a sketch once I have the collar or like the body actually done and on my body. I can take some photos and do some like over sketching. Ooh, my hot water. Yay. Ooh, ooh, maybe we can do some ASMR. You can come with me. We're walking through my apartment and we're gonna get my hot water. We're gonna pour it into my French press. Wait, ready for it? The smell and aroma of fresh coffee brewed on a Sunday afternoon. Sorry for everybody who needs to pee after doing that now. I am the worst. But wasn't that a nice moment? Wow, I didn't leave you behind. just gonna let that steep for a little bit, or brew, I guess is the proper term. Sorry, not sorry. Okay. Yeah, percolate kind of. It's not technically a percolator. My grandparents used to use a percolator, and I thought it was the most magical thing ever. And that was before I drank coffee. I was like, wow, this thing uses thermodynamics to make coffee? What? Yeah, percolate. It's just a great word, percolate. And it even kind of sounds like the sound of a percolator, like percolate, 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 you know? You know? Am I cuckoo bananas? Or am I right? Or both? I love when a word is its own onomatopoeia, you know? Really? I mean, it is a tonal language, so I guess that would make sense. Let's get a nice sharp corner. Whoa. Sorry. Less so in tagline, which is also very tonal. The more you know. I love language. Need to remember to do my French lesson today. I put down my French lessons for a good few months, but I really enjoy learning. And it's the one language that I've kind of stuck with over the years. But I also really want to restart my Norwegian. So the DELF, the DELF, what? Is that a language proficiency thing? Oh, oh, wow. Cool. Maybe I'll do that after I'm done. Well, done. Once I am at a point where I feel like I could take that, because I'm still so far behind. There's so much stuff that I forgot. And not in a way of like, "Oh, I've learned my, English is my first language and there's a lot of rules I forgot, but they're ingrained in me." No, there are rules that I forgot in French because, the last time I truly, truly practiced it was probably 6-ish years ago, and then before that, 2000 and the 2006-2007 school year, I took French 3. So that was almost 20 years now. Gripes. Because my ex and I used to speak a little bit in French. She has a pretty good proficiency in French. Her father's almost fluent. I used to do a little bit of translation for the last company I worked for, but it was with someone who is French Canadian. And so there was a lot of stuff where I was like, what the heck are you saying? Hey, Abe. Yeah, just because like French Canadian sometimes has some really interesting nuances, different ways of spelling things. And yeah, there were a few times where I was like, I have no idea what you're saying. I mean, that makes sense considering when the French uh, migrants moved to Canada for trapping and stuff. Uh, they'd be probably still speaking quite a bit of that. I'm trying to remember some of the specific phrases that this customer would use. And I just was like, I have no idea what you're saying, but I'm going to do my darned best. I am working on the other sleeve of the Vipers and the Ivy jacket I've been working on for a while. And I am hand sewing the panels together before I top stitch them by machine. But yeah, you can see the jacket kind of right behind me here. The bulk of it is done, um, but I'm just working on the sleeve now because I finished the dragon scale smocking on the other shoulder piece. So that's when I was like, all right, it's time to make the next sleeve. I didn't want it just hanging out waiting for that corner piece. So I've been working on other stuff instead, some other small things, which I'll show in just a little bit once I'm done with this piece. And then I think I'll probably end stream once I'm done with this piece here. Because sewing all the pieces together is going to be not frustrating, but definitely something that I need to focus on. And I can't really do that on stream. Not to mention, I try to keep these streams a little shorter on the YouTube side. Um, I've almost been streaming for 2 hours now, I think is what I'm seeing there. So I try not to go much over that. I don't mind getting up to 3 potentially, but it just makes it harder for people to rewatch when it's super long. So You're welcome. You enjoy your day, Zanite. Thank you for hanging out with me for so long. I appreciate your time. But what have you been up to, Abe? How's school? Oh, from the zoo. How fun. Nice. What's the documentary about, if you're allowed to say? Doing that inside corner just like I do the outside corners to make sure I get a nice point. Oh, cool. That's nice. Did you do any photography at the zoo today? Because that was always my favorite when I still lived in Colorado and was doing photography. I would always bring my camera. Oh no. Oh, I hate when I do that. Because of course then you get the itch, right? Knowing that it's just right there. That's definitely how I feel like when I don't bring anything to work on during like a break or my commute is the day that I don't do it is the day that I'm like, oh man, I really wish I did. Because most of the time I bring them and I don't actually do anything with them, but it's like a little emotional support project. Nice. Oh, I was gonna grab a thimble, wasn't I? I only have the one, and is it over there? Finish up with this thread and then go snag my thimble. Yep, yep. Oh, that's so relatable, Abe. So relatable. I am glad that I'm doing this by hand. I gotta say, it does make me a little tempted to try and do a running stitch as a top stitch by hand, but that sounds more time consuming than it needs to be. Is my thimble? It is. Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think it's good to keep in practice, right? Like having your camera and having it available just in case something does happen, but also just to like practice. See, I don't love using a thimble. We're just gonna deal with it. Getting some of that thread ASMR. Okay, doing the point there and making sure. A little carried away on that corner. Yeah, when I was pattern cutting the back piece, or the liner piece. I just wanted to give myself extra room because the last time I had some issues. Granted, it's because I machine sewed it, I'm pretty sure. And the pieces were just sliding around. But now these pieces are perfectly cut and they have been perfectly lined. And then I'll throw them in my machine. Top stitch. Ooh, I need to close all the holes before I top stitch. Meaning I need to press these before I do that. But yeah, I will top stitch these on my machine. I won't do that on stream because that'll be loud and annoying. And I'm gonna need to take a supper break. Anyhow. Also, I have not begun filming episode 6 of this project yet because I wanted to get the body of the jacket done to start the episode. Because then I can start talking about like details and the rest of it, like the minute pieces of how I'm gonna finish the jacket, like what kind of closure, what kind of um, details I'm gonna add to it. I want that to be the next couple of videos. And at this point, like you've seen me make most of the other parts of this jacket. You don't need to see me do the other sleeve again. Like, it's not interesting. It's just repetitious. I'm gonna have to use another like short length. This is not gonna get me all the way to like here at all. No, it's gonna get me to like here. It's all good. Okay. Let's cut one last piece for this process. Just gonna do a shorty. Like that my hair is just progressively getting more disheveled. And I'm not even doing anything that cheveling. Okay, just a few more stitches. More. Close that off. Cut the corners, and then we're gonna iron these down, sew them up. I'll do the ironing on camera because that is almost always satisfying. Okay. Moving some stuff. Gonna let that heat up. Rolling silk. Because then I can turn this inside out as that's heating up. Clip in corners. And just cutting this this like this crotch is the best way to put it. Just cutting that point down. And then these corners. Oh, I already had an opening at the bottom. Whoopsies. That's okay. I will sew up both holes. Like a fool. So something I should note is that I did purposefully make sure that the liner was following the grain of the pattern piece as well. So it all is going the right direction. Okay. So now I'm just poking out the corners gently. Gently, gently, gently. And then go up here to one of these points. The ultimate test. Huh? My face of just getting this corner turned. Ooh, beautiful point on that. Zang. Look at that. Stunning. Absolutely stunning. There we go. Another really nice point. Ah! Okay. So I guess we could start with this puppy here. Clear all that. Yep. So crisp, so flat. So symmetrical. Ew. Okay, so I'll just iron these and then wrap up. What a nice studio day this has been. I'm still gonna keep working, but like I said, I'm trying to keep these live streams to about 2 to 2.5 hours. And I've already exceeded that. Well, I'm just at the 2.5, I believe. Almost at the 2.5. Got a nice point there. Beautiful, beautiful. I am going to mark where the holes are. Need to sew those up. The other piece. Here's the back. Stunning. Absolutely stunning. So now I can take these three pieces and sew them up. And then I will get the shoulder piece, which actually, why don't we come up here now? Hey. So this shoulder piece right here is what I'm going to be working on next. I have the fabric that I finished smocking. I have the liner fabric cut to the right size. So I'll do that after I get this sleeve, the bottom portion here. So this is this part, and then the two pieces on underarm, I guess. Gonna get those sewn together first, because then I can just lay in this block once I have that done. So that's it. That is the stream today. Thank you all so much for watching. This has been an absolute blast. I'll move my mic so you can actually hear me. This has been a blast. Thank you so much for watching. I am going to try to get episode 6 of the Vipers in the Ivy project started filming this week. And then we can move on from there. So y'all have a great rest of your Sunday or Monday if you're watching it live. Whatever day it is, when you're watching the VOD, I guess is the term. So thank you all so much for watching. Mwah! I'll see you in the next one.